Controversy is an inevitable aspect of participating in an MMA match, given how volatile and unpredictable the sport can be. However, we're going to showcase a few instances in today's video that went beyond the cage, the controversies that remained etched in people's minds. As always, in order to ensure that you don't miss anything, please let us know whether you liked the video by hitting the like and subscribe buttons. Without further ado, these are the most contentious events in UFC history. In 2018, when Jon Jones failed a drug test before UFC 232 in Vegas, Dana White faced accusations of hypocrisy. Despite Jones testing positive for a small amount of a long-term metabolite, the Nevada State Athletic Commission couldn't clear him in time for the event. Dana's solution? Move the entire show from Vegas to California just days before the big event, disrupting fans' plans and inconveniencing other fighters on the card.
Really? For one person?
A lot of people are upset.
Dana White justified the decision, citing the lack of time for Nevada to address the issue. He acknowledged the impact on other fighters, who had to relocate their camps and final preparations to Los Angeles. While claiming to make the transition as smooth as possible, Dana expressed frustration.
We're moving it from Las Vegas to the Forum in LA.
And disappointment, emphasizing the hassle and costs incurred by everyone involved. Many were upset about disrupted accommodations and saw it as an unfortunate consequence of one person's actions affecting the entire event.
These guys know not to bet on fights. Do you know what the outcome of this is? They're gonna go to federal prison. Federal prison.
James Krause, a former UFC fighter turned highly regarded coach, is currently embroiled in an unprecedented scandal in the world of combat sports. The controversy centers around a fight involving Darrick Minner, one of Krause's coached athletes, where significant last-minute bets were placed on Minner to win in the first round. Bookmakers were surprised not only by the amount of money wagered on this undercard fight, but also by the persistent betting despite odds adjustments. The suspicious aspect arose when it was revealed that Minner suffered an injury, causing his leg to give out in the first round. The question of coincidence arose as individuals seemed to have profited substantially from predicting this specific outcome. Investigations revealed that James Krause was the proud owner of a successful Discord server where he charged people to bet with him and use his picks. While some legitimate insights were shared on the platform, Krause's involvement raised concerns about sharing insider information with bettors and potentially coaching his fighters into matches when they weren't in optimal health. This controversy led to Krause facing blacklisting from the sport, as he was seen as compromising the integrity of the fights and jeopardizing the well-being of his athletes. Krause's actions may have legal consequences, with the possibility of individuals involved facing federal prison time. Vitor Belfort's use of TRT in MMA sparked significant controversy. Numerous PED issues have marred the history of the sport, with some fighters allegedly bending the rules. Belfort, however, gained attention when he was granted an exemption from the TRT ban. This decision seemingly rejuvenated the aging middleweight, enabling him to achieve remarkable victories over opponents like Dan Henderson, Luke Rockhold, and notably, Michael Bisping. Bisping, reflecting on those times, emphasized the transformative impact of TRT on Belfort's performance during the Rockhold and Bisping fights. The UFC and the commission had granted him permission, and he claims to have transparently shared all relevant tests and exams. However, the situation took a turn when the UFC realized the mistake in allowing TRT. Upon his return to the cage, Belfort appeared as a mere shadow of his former self, facing Chris Weidman and displaying a noticeable decline in physical prowess. Bisping, not holding back, expressed his lack of respect for Belfort, considering him a diminished fighter compared to their previous encounter. This marked a downturn in Belfort's career, with his performance never quite reaching the same level as before. The Reebok deal marked a significant shift in the UFC, impacting fighters who used to secure their own sponsors. The exclusive partnership with Reebok meant fighters couldn't have independent sponsors for their shorts, leading to lower payouts and financial challenges for many. While the deal aimed at benefiting the industry, it became a controversial move, leaving a sour taste among fighters and fans. The UFC 229 brawl between Khabib Nurmagomedov and Conor McGregor added to the turmoil. The pre-fight buildup was filled with personal attacks on family, culture, and religion. Despite the intense rivalry, Khabib remained composed during the fight, breaking down McGregor round by round. However, after the victory, chaos ensued with Khabib jumping over the cage to confront McGregor's team, tarnishing what should have been a triumphant moment. Critics argue that Khabib's actions embarrassed the UFC and the sport itself, believing he should have celebrated professionally. While the post-fight skirmish has become legendary over time, it remains a unique and controversial moment in UFC history. Controversy surrounding Charles Oliveira's title defense against Justin Gaethje has indeed stirred up the lightweight division. The issue with the scales during the build-up raised concerns as several fighters on the card had discrepancies between their official scale readings and backstage weights. Charles Oliveira, the defending lightweight champion, missed weight by a fraction of a pound, registering 155.5 pounds. There have been claims of shenanigans with the scales, with many fighters asserting that the scale was off by half a pound. Oliveira, who seemed to be on weight the night before, experienced a sudden discrepancy during the weigh-ins. Rumors suggest scale recalibrations and discrepancies led to this situation. Despite the apparent issues with the scale, the UFC chose to strip Charles Oliveira of his title, turning his win over Justin Gaethje into a non-title performance. This decision, marking the end of Oliveira's title reign, has been met with disappointment and controversy. While some may still consider Oliveira the champion in their minds, the official status of the lightweight title is now vacant due to the failure to meet the weight requirement. Nick Diaz, a prominent figure in mixed martial arts, faced severe consequences from the Nevada State Athletic Commission due to a marijuana violation. Despite never testing positive for performance-enhancing drugs, PEDs, Diaz was handed a 5-year suspension and a hefty $165,000 fine. Some argue that the punishment was disproportionate, especially compared to penalties for PED violations that often result in less severe consequences. Diaz himself expressed frustration with the commission, accusing them of trying to hinder his success and taking a significant portion of his earnings. In response to the situation, there was a motion for a 5-year suspension and a financial penalty of 33% of Diaz's purse, which amounted to $500,000. Diaz felt that the commission was overstepping its bounds and unfairly targeting him, stating that they were out of line and attempting to hold him back. The MMA community rallied against the harsh punishment, leading to a reduction in the fine to $100,000 and the suspension to 18 months. However, the incident left a lasting impact on Nick Diaz, who felt betrayed by the sport he loved. The entire ordeal underscored the controversies and challenges within the realm of combat sports, particularly when it comes to disciplinary measures. Towelgate became a controversial moment in Daniel Cormier's career, particularly during the UFC 210 pre-fight weigh-in. Although not considered a dirty fighter, Cormier's actions raised suspicion. In the lead-up to his bout with Anthony Johnson in 2017, Cormier has seemingly admitted to manipulating weigh-in results. Cormier initially appeared to struggle to make weight, weighing in at 206.2 pounds. However, on the second attempt, he miraculously shed the necessary pounds. Observant fans quickly noticed that he had leaned on the towel, typically used for modesty. This incident gave rise to the infamous Towelgate. When questioned about the towel during the weigh-in with Anthony Johnson,
like there was a lot of people who thought that the towel was why you made weight.
What is doing that do? I don't understand. No, I just wanted to make sure I didn't show my junk. Something's wrong with it.
Maintained that his actions were to avoid revealing private parts and dismissed the idea that manipulating the towel had any impact on making weight. Certainly, at UFC 200, there was significant buzz surrounding Conor McGregor's return and the last-minute adjustments to the fight card. Notably, the UFC made an exception for Brock Lesnar to compete without adhering to the usual 6-month testing pool requirement imposed by USADA for returning athletes. Amidst the chaos of Jones versus Cormier and McGregor versus Diaz falling through, Lesnar's appearance added star power to the event. Despite the success in pay-per-view sales and Lesnar's victory over Mark Hunt, the celebration was short-lived. Post-fight, it was revealed that Lesnar had failed a drug test for clomiphene, an estrogen blocker typically used to restart testosterone after a steroid cycle. This revelation raised concerns about Lesnar's use of performance-enhancing substances, with accusations that he entered the fight under the influence. The aftermath led to the fight result being overturned to a no contest, but the financial gains from UFC 200 remained with the promotion. The controversy highlighted the UFC's ability to navigate exceptions for star athletes, even in the face of testing protocols. TJ Dillashaw's comeback has been marked by his intense competitiveness, often leading him to make questionable decisions. His attempt to cut down to 125 pounds for a title fight against Henry Cejudo, coupled with the use of illegal performance enhancers, showcased the extent of his competitiveness. Even when faced with a shoulder injury before a bantamweight title fight against Aljamain Sterling, Dillashaw refused to withdraw, hoping for a miraculous victory. Unfortunately, the early failure of his shoulder turned the fight into a disappointment for fans, Sterling, and ultimately Dillashaw himself. The question arises whether this fight should have happened at all. Reflecting on his own experiences, the speaker emphasizes the importance of open communication about injuries. They share that they suffered a severe shoulder injury in April, with frequent dislocations during training camp. The lack of awareness about Dillashaw's shoulder issue raises concerns, suggesting that such information should have been disclosed to prevent unnecessary risks and disappointments. If you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to let us know by giving it a like, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. As always, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.